Hello, welcome to another edition of SPY Sundays. We're going to go through, of course, the SPY. We're going to talk about our next big couple options trades that we're looking at here. We are going to be dissecting the charts that you guys want to see, so make sure you drop those in the comments right now. I'm going to be going through the charts you want to see. I know there was a big hit last time, so I want to do it again to make sure that you guys get the analysis that you need and that you want. So, big week here. We're going to start off strong. We're going to start off smooth. Hit the chat, introduce yourself. If you are new to this stream, type new. If you've been in the Discord for a while, please drop your Discord username a little bit later. I'm going to be dropping the link below at the bottom of the screen. So if you want to join, you can. You are going to have your options roadmap for the week with price targets by the end of this stream so that you don't trade like a chump. You make some of that money. So we're going to go straight into it here, guys, and we're going to start with a ticker that I just stumbled upon a little earlier today when I was researching for this stream. Ticker is FOUR. I think this one's very interesting. They're essentially trying to become a competitive alternative to PayPal. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity here. I wanted to start on this one just so that you guys can dive in on something tasty and something nice. As of right now, PE is a bit high on the fundamental side. Institutional interest is over 100%. So that means there's shares issued that shouldn't exist. Short float is over 17.2%. So, as always, my goal is to find you guys stuff that's going to make you money. And I think this is one to start with. So let's break down this chart. Keep it very simple. I want you guys to be able to follow along with this very simply, very easily, so that you know how to chart by the time you're done watching the stream for a few weeks. This one is very interesting here. We got a lot of opportunity. We got a lot of upside if this thing holds up. We're just going to identify a few zones. As always, you know the way I like to start. I like to identify my horizontal ranges to get an idea of where this is going to trade. And I think we have a few easy ones to pick out first and foremost. And we're going to go ahead and mark those, 72 being our top. I think if we look, no, let's scoot that up. There's more confluence there. So all we want to do is put these two simple horizontal lines. Anybody that has 300 lines on their chart, that's dumb, and it's not going to help you, and it's just going to get you more confused, more lost. And to be honest, if they're throwing that many lines, I don't know what they're doing. So I like to keep it simple. I like to identify simple ranges that stocks are trading in. They give us a good indication of where we can take a trade and where we shouldn't. With this one, there's a pretty clear and apparent trade idea here that I really like. So here's what we've done so far, right? We've got our top line resistance. Well, let's go ahead and mark that just so you guys can got our top line resistance. We're going to go ahead and slap that there. And then we got our support right down here. That's support numero uno. That's the support we want to hold first. There you go. And then this is our bottom dollar support, coinciding perfectly with this 200-day EMA, which tells us that we are probably right on the money with this one. So if we dial in a little closer here and look at this a little more carefully, we can see EMA's crossed over bearish here. This is back in the beginning of April. Came back down, strong support bounce up the 200-day EMA. Volume is drying up, though. Something to consider and something to be aware of when looking at this one in particular. Anytime volume dries up, that's not a good sign. However, if volume comes back, I want you guys to have the setup because I think there's something here. So this company has been reiterated with a number of price targets over the last couple of months at about 30 to 50% upside from current price. That's why I think this thing has some room to go. So we're gonna zoom back out here to the weekly chart, because this is the story we want to understand. Okay, if we're going back in time to December of 2020, right? We found support right around $61, which is right where we're trading right now, ironically. We tested that support and it held. We held that support again, and then this thing boomed up to 71, pushed as high as 75 over those couple weeks, came back down very damn near the support again, sold off, came up, and this thing just kept climbing to sum total max of $140. So again, recent IPO back in 2020, so keep that in mind. Now let's look at what happened here. If we go a little bit further in time to October of 21, right? So this is about a year later. Huge sell-off, and it cleared this zone, the same zone we just talked about it pushing up strong, right? Strong volume. It cleared through this zone to the sell side all the way down to about 58 and change. And then when it broke back up, it pushed again, but not through the whole zone. It did find support. sold off again, and then we found bottom dollar back in August of 22 at 29 bucks. Hell of a buy then. However, here's what we have right now. We have our EMAs crossing over here and holding up on the weekly. Remember, weekly time frame is what we want to be looking at. When in doubt, zoom it out. Go ahead, write that in the chat so you can save that for later. Write it on a post-it, write it on your girlfriend's head. I don't care. When in doubt, zoom out. You need to know that when you are questioning your decisions on a chart, you need to take a step back and zoom out and get the bigger picture, right? So the bigger picture on this one is that we held its support, right? We tested this support perfectly right here. I'm going to go ahead and draw it there because I know you guys like to, you're visual men. I know you like to see that. See that right there? We held that support right there. We did a firm support bounce and it rejected, came right back up above those EMAs, which again, back in December of 20 and January of 2023, we crossed over bullish here. That's what this means. When these shorter term EMAs cross over the longer term, that means we're more than likely going to head back up for a little while. We pushed to a high of 76 bucks. Money. Love it. Awesome. If this volume comes back, RSI stays over 50, right? These are the key things we're looking at here. So we got RSI bounced at 50 right here. We need it to stay above 50. That is a pretty important level here. As you can see, when we went bearish here, RSI bumped its head just above 50 and then came down. So if we're going to turn over and remain bullish, we need RSI to bump the bottom and then scoop back up. We have a strong correlation between RSI, price action, EMAs, right? We want to find our points of confluence. Like how many different little areas, how many different little boxes can we check to make sure that we're not off our rocker and just marking down nonsense on the chart. That's what really matters here. You find your points of confluence, then you start to take your direction. So we have that, right? So let's talk about thesis then. What does this mean? So our payment system is going to come back. Anything software, digital, AI, anything with any of those buzzwords has been trending, has been hot in the market over the past couple months, as you can see right here by the price action. Does that mean it'll continue? Not necessarily. So what we want to do is take the end of that trend or bubble when you consider AI. Remember, bubbles can last a while. Doesn't mean it's going to pop tomorrow. It means that it's a bubble, and you just have to know that. We trade this with the right risk management. There won't be a worry at all. So we found our support test there on that bounce, right? So what we want to wait for is see if we come back down to about 63.30. So we're going to move this bottom line up because our trade is going to change and manage risk a little bit better. We're going to call it 63 bucks. So we've got a pretty clear idea here, right? It came down and it tested 63 as support. Then it tested 63 as resistance. Same thing again, then support again, right? Then support. We're trending off of support, which is a good thing, right? So we are going to set our stop at about just below 63 bucks in case this does see a quick dip down and the market makers try to clear out your stop loss, because believe me, that does happen. This thing has 20% short interest and more shares issued than actually exist, right? So don't think AMC, because that's pretty far out there. We don't want to get them wrapped up in all that craziness, right? But similar concept in a sense that they're shorting shares that they shouldn't have. So if this company turns out to be a good buy, and if they turned out to have the fundamental chutzpah to continue here, then we're in a pretty good position from a technical standpoint, right? So what we're going to look at here is try to identify what could our price targets be if we do like this, right? So we always want to start with our first line of resistance and a support bounce, right? So we got that right here. Support, resistance, done. This line is important. Since the price is below this line right now, that means it is currently our resistance. If the price was above that line, that would make it our support. So looking at that as our resistance, we have about $5 to go on the upside here. Doesn't give us a lot of room to trade, but still worth looking at for the lesson, right? And then our next resistance we're looking at is about $75.20, $10 upside, which if we go to the options chain, I would like that, right? $10 upside on an options contract is not a bad deal. That's a pretty decent move that you could make a nice bit of money on. So I'm going to scoot over here to the options chain here. I'm going to take a look. They don't have many contracts, and I don't think they're doing weekly. So if we look at July 21, that's 47 days, right? Applied volatility is pretty low. That delta is not very strong, though. Decent volume open interest on some, but I think most of these are probably going to be out of the money. So I'm not liking those. Let's look at June 16th. Maybe we get a crazy push up. What's the delta there? 10. Oh, God, that's bad. So, guys, anytime you see Greeks like that, and then you go over to puts and you see is it lower? Oh, no. Wow, it's a lot higher. Those are in the money. Let's look at just out of the money. Yep. So Delta is skewed towards the put side. So that means that a lot of money right now is betting for this to come down for a little bit, is what it is. So as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and actually say scrap this. But now that you've got this chart, you can keep a very close eye on it, because if we break above 75.20, I'm going to be looking at the 85. Do they have an $85 call? They do. If we can break above that point, I think an $85 call wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. If we go October 20th, my birthday, that's nice. And we go at the 85 call, $300, no volume, very little open interest. The delta isn't great now. 75 calls not bad in October, though. Delta 0.41. Let's look at the puts. Okay. So that's something you could do. That's nice. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and look at that later. So mark this down. This is a great long-term watch list item. Again, remember, huge selling the other day. There's a lot of short interest here, almost 20%. This is going to be on the watch list. This is one to keep a close eye on. If you get a breakout over 70, start paying attention. Over 75.20, again, remember we talked about breakouts. When a price pushes up and then tests support, that's your opportunity to buy if you're trading on more upside. So this is a chart I found interesting. I just wanted to run through. Unfortunately, I hadn't looked through the options chain before I did, so sorry about that. But we're not looking too good on those short-term contracts, so we're going to go ahead and pass. Ooh, that's what we should do, a smash or pass. Do that. I like that. You guys pop the chart, we go through it, and then we figure out if it's a smash or a pass. I like that a lot. Go ahead and drop a ticker in the chat. Let's get to it. Let's get on it. I like that idea. I like that a lot. Smash or pass. So smash means it's a good opportunity to go long. Pass means it is not. We're not going to get too deep into the short thing. We're going to start with Carvana. Carvanius. Carvana. Ooh. Remember, who took this from the live stream? I hope you made a lot of money, because the options chain was going crazy on this. So if anyone recalls, we were on this stream one Sunday a few weeks back, and we were right about, that's how many weeks back we were. We were right here. So this is back in the middle of May, wherein we talked about that. Let's go to the daily so we can get a little better idea. Remember we talked about that breakout over $10. We could aim for 15. That would have been an easy trade on that support test. So again, broke out, support test. You wouldn't have ever gone below that price, and you would have made a killing the other day as this thing pushed up to a new high of about $17. You made money, Justin. That's my guy. I'm glad you made some money on that. Post that in the profits channel, my friend. And for those of you that aren't in the Discord and you just happen to stumble upon us, it's the best place to go. I would definitely jump in there, get the free trading education, sign up for the free watch list. Tons of free stuff. Don't pay for anything. Just take all the freebies. That's all I want is for you guys to have the tools you need to make some money. And they're all there and waiting for you, desperately craving you, wanting you, thinking of you. So go ahead and take advantage of those. So if we look at the Carvana daily chart here, a few things stick out right off the bat. Number one, this. So buyers pushed up, sellers beat the hell out of them. And then the next day, the buyers really made an effort to push back up above 16.19, and they couldn't. And then they tried again a third time and couldn't. They tried back here and couldn't. And now they're testing it again. Now, bullish breakout volume, right? Above here. So what I'm be looking at here is above 16.19. I would say above 16.50 to be safe, but let's call it 16.19. I think you could aim for $20. I think that's easy. Look at how quickly it moved through this zone. If we zoom in right here and put a red center, look how quickly the price floated through this zone with a few gap ups and gap downs. That means that you got a pretty strong liquidity zone there, meaning price will move pretty quickly with great velocity through that area. So that's a great, finding those charts that look like that are the best opportunities for making like crazy options money. And volume here looks exceptional. I'm going to go ahead and say this is a smash once we get over, ooh, we need a sound guy that can type that in there. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. We need a sound guy that could make like a crazy sound effect. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. Smash over, what is that, 16.19? That would definitely be a smash. And you got clear room for 20 if it goes 25 to 27. And if you look at the price action here back in August of 2022, and this started going just absolutely nuts. Once it broke above 20, it hit 58. Again, you have your 200-day EMA looming here. That's going to be your tough point of resistance to break. But once it does, I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Again, going back to the weekly chart, that's the 34-day. You got room to about $100 on the 200-day. And if we go back in time in 2020, although a different market, when it was holding above $30, this thing went on steady climb. Oh my God, this went to, you're kidding me. This went to $375. Is that a joke? Oh my God. I did not know this ran that much. That is absolutely astounding. This thing climbed 1,000% to 376. Talk about an inflated market, and then sold off quickly. So here's another thing you can look for. How do I do on those little box guys? Those are good stuff. Let me find that little. Yeah, there we go. Look at this zone right here. This is something interesting to look at. Oh man, sorry I messed that up. Look at this zone right here. Okay. What does this tell you? What does this tell you? What did we just talk about, guys? Talked about the liquidity zone. We talked about fast moving price actions through certain zones. And if you can map them out right, then you can come up with a hell of an options trade that will make you a lot of money. This would be one of those zones, right? So if it breaks 128, again, remember, it would be totally bullish on the, as far as the EMAs and the RSI is concerned, if it gets there. And if it does, I think this thing has potential to just rip. Not saying it's worth it. I'm not saying it's worth that amount of money, but I think this has the potential to rip from 130 to about 301. Absolutely unbelievable. So mark that zone out in your chart that if ever hits there, you got it loaded up, locked and loaded. That's my goal. You guys should get on Webull, follow along, map these charts out with me. So I'm showing you my whole screen. I'm showing you everything I'm doing so that you guys can map it out the same way I do and have it on your chart. So as you flip through and you look at these, it'll trigger in your mind exactly what happened. Devastator, what's up, baby? That's our newest lifetime member. I hope you're getting up in that masterclass sauce, my friend. That's the good stuff. Especially make sure you do my the options masterclass. I think you'll absolutely love it. The options price targets one, where I kind of break down exactly how I do what I do with the options for those of you that have not seen it yet or didn't know about it. Also, you get access to the crypto fund. I won't do a shameless plug, but all the lifetime members will have access to the crypto fund, which will be actively traded by myself, Bitcoin J, and Jackson. We got the licensure shit done, and we're just waiting on a couple of legalese details to clarify and clean up so that we're good to go. You can get that information in the Discord if you're in there. So who's got another one? Justin's got 20. So who's got another one? Come on, I'm trying to share the love here. Mike Porter, AVGO, good call. This is an interesting one. We were just watching this in the Discord this was given the crown medal here of one of the best charts I've ever seen in my entire life. And I am so upset with myself that I didn't see this support bounce here at 406 back in October of 22, because that would have been the easiest no-brainer buy of all time. Just look at that consistency. It looks a lot like Apple, except obviously Apple hasn't pushed up that much. This thing has gone in less than when did this IPO? So they IPO'd in 09, so post-mortgage crises, and they've basically it's just insane, man. I think is that a 10,000% return total, right? Yeah, 10 to 100 is 1,000% essentially, to 110. So that would be nearly a 8,000% return on investment on equities, mind you. Absolutely astounding. This chart is a hard pass for me right now, just because it's completely overbought in my opinion, and that hanging doji, the hanging man there, is just not looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and give this, unfortunately, sorry, AVGO, you just don't have that cake that I need to keep going. What is this? Mike, you had a 20,000% options trade in 2 days, 2 weeks ago? Are you serious? That's insane. Justin, if you're talking about the lifetime stuff, yes, there's I think 5 or 6 at this time, and Bull is doing a weekly, he's in there 2-3 hours a week going through the option spread masterclass live stuff, which is phenomenal. What's up, Tikak? Pelotonius. That was phenomenal play. We took puts on that. I think, trying to look at that chart. I think we were right about here, but when it was trading about 150, I took like, I think it was $50 puts, something like that. That was up 10,000%. That was unfathomable. Huge buying Peloton there. I guess we could do Peloton next. All right, let's do Peloton. Why not? So we're playing a game of smash or pass for those of you that just joined. We're looking at these charts. Smash means it's a good opportunity to go long. Pass means obviously it's not that interesting and we don't want to look at it right now. It's just not our flavor and it's not our time. I'm going to already tell you right here that there needs to be some work done on this chart before I even consider it. It still needs a nearly 100% move to the upside before I would even really take a second to spend some time with this lovely lady. You got a pretty significant resistance there, 1420 until it breaks over. This is going to be a hard pass. Peloton pass. And the volume's just not there. It is curling, which is always a good sign. Anytime you see that curl, it is something else. It is really something else. Guys, remember, drop the charts you want to see. Just drop the ticker in the chat. We're playing smash or pass. I'm going to go through, map the chart out for you in a very quick way so that's easy to understand, and then we're gonna rail it out. Sorry, those are $75 puts. That's why I had 73 bucks on there. Give me a second. Let me change this light up a little bit. Okay. Smash or pass, you drop a ticker in the chats. We take a quick look at that chart and talk about whether or not it's a good opportunity or if we're going to pass on it. We just passed on both AVGO and Carvana. Or no. Sorry. Carvana was a smash above that price level we talked about. So if you're just watching the video now, zoom on back and make sure you get that. I'm going to go ahead and take this Mr. Eco Yankee here. We're going to take a look at Mr. ENPH. And phase energy. This one I think is pretty interesting. So we were mapping this out. Remember when we saw huge sell side pressure, we talked about needing to see a support bounce here. It turned over and functioned as resistance and beat this thing down into the ground with a significant selling volume there. So RSI didn't go any lower than 43. And if you look historically on this one, this is what's interesting. This thing has never really gone that deep into oversold since like the late teens of the 2000s when it was trading at absolutely nothing. That's why some of these energy plays can be absolutely astounding. If you look here, this was trading down to 65 cents back in 2016. I can't even do that math of what kind of return on investment that is. If you're buying this at 70 cents and holding it to 339.92, absolutely excessive in my opinion, a little bit extreme and not your typical happening there. So I want to go ahead and take a quick look at this resistance right here. Yeah, so that's a pretty critical resistance that needed to turn over as support. I would say we're bearish here. I'm going to go ahead and give this a pass down to 137. So this is end phase energy. We're going to give it pass. I think it's got more downside. I don't think it's done yet. I'm going to go ahead and pass that. Yeah, show some love. Come on, hit that thumbs up on the video. Let's get to 30. If we get to 30, I'll give you a little some special. Just go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Just hit it once. You don't need to hit it twice, and it's not twice as nice as long as you hit it once. Let's get it to, come on, there's 40 people here. Let's get it up. Come on, show some love. I'm going through these charts. I do it for you. I do it for you. My wife gets pissed every time it's Sunday because I have to do this. So if I show her you like this, then I'm in a little bit of less hot water, and I appreciate you. Could you save my marriage? Maybe, if you hit that thumbs up. Just hit it, and maybe you'll save my marriage. Who's to say? Just kidding. My wife's a lovely woman, and she understands. She doesn't like it, but she understands. So we passed on AVGO. What's up, Dave? How you living, baby? Let's take a look at LYFT. Hard pass on end phase. Done and done. I don't want to pass on it, but I don't see another way. This daily chart looks a little bit better. You got a gap opportunity. You got a gap fill back up to like 1045. I do think there's some upside here, but how much? I don't necessarily know. I think $10. This is going to be your price to beat here. I think personally is is right where we are now, has been pretty significant resistance, so it's got to stay above there. And then I think just below $10 is going to be a pretty critical resistance. If you go back in time, pretty critical support here. It tried as support, became resistance, then became support, and then it gapped down, which into absolute nothingness. This thing's got pretty heavy resistance to the upside. Again, they're also being outmaneuvered by Uber. Uber is also scaling a lot more quickly, so I think that Lyft's business is a little risky at this moment in time, but it has seen pretty significant buying over the past couple of days. I would say that if this thing can break over $10, you definitely got some upside to 11, and then this opportunity here, which the last time it broke up over 11, this thing absolutely scooted on up to 17, $18. So I do think you have a pretty significant opportunity for upside here. However, I'm going to have to go ahead and pass for now because this chart just ain't doing it for me. Lyft is a pass, not a smash. Sorry, Lyft. I'm calling Uber. It is what it is, even though I hate Uber. I usually try to just get a taxi. Those are my people. Let's take a look. I'm going to scroll up a little bit here. Bum, 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 bum. We got a Peloton pass. Target. We got to talk about this because there's one business that is not going away. Incredibly oversold. Buyers came back pretty strong here. Not as strong as I would have liked. I would have liked to seen buying like we saw back in pre-earnings of November 22, where this thing just saw absolutely absurd volume on the day, 36 million shares. We were only looking at about 13, so a third of what we really would have liked to have seen. But buyers did come back pretty strong in force. When we go to the weekly chart here, we get a better idea of what our worst case scenario is with Target, and that's another $10 to $12 to the downside. I would say like probably around 120. If we hit that 120, which is like long-term, long-standing support, I think that it's a long-term equities buy for me personally. Obviously, determine your own level of risk and take that into consideration, but I think it's something I'm willing to take a flyer on. Again, RSI also interests me here. Okay, so we got RSI bottom off this price here. If we can keep RSI right above 30, I'm pretty confident and comfortable that we could turn around from here, because we've got, as you can see, I got to make this not black. But as you can see right here, we got a nice old range support here where this thing absolutely monstered and broke out from. So again, there's a lot of exchange and liquidity and buying below this level. So I think if we hit 120, I think all these same buyers that loved this back then at 110, 120, 115, they're going to love it again. And I think that's going to bolster us to create a pretty strong support that's going to move up. The Ulta and Starbucks partnerships cannot be discounted. So I would be very, very, very careful, obviously, in adding to that options position too soon. However, I do think that there's pretty significant potential here for upside should it pay off the way we need it to. So I'm trying to maintain this position above 130. If we don't get it, I will probably buy down to 120, at which point then I should be down 10, 15% overall after I get my final buys in. And then I will be setting that stop loss and hedging that position to ensure that we're not going to get beat to death. But nevertheless, this thing took an absolute pounding, political stuff, alongside with their reports on extreme theft. I guess they estimated theft to go up again next year, which is like crazy. I mean, to me, it's like no money to them, but it's a couple $100 million, I do believe. So take that into consideration before you do anything. Oh, 28 of you have hit that thumbs up and successfully saved my marriage. There's a few of you left. Please just hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you're getting any benefit from this, let us know with that thumbs up so that we can continue delivering this for you. We do this every week just for you because we love you. And I'm not with my kids and my family. So let me get a little thumbs up and just throw the gas lamp on just a little bit there. Let's give a little thumbs up. There we go. We hit 30. I love you. I'm ready to continue. That was just the validation I needed in this moment. You should walk away with this, guys. Like, this is like, I want to be very straightforward with you. There's no way in hell you shouldn't walk away from this with a very clear understanding of like 10 to 15 super quality charts and also knowing exactly what to do with them. If this isn't enough and you need a little more one-on-one support and you want the entries on the options trades, the entries on the stock trades with the price targets and the stop losses, you can go to that link at the bottom. That's PB. Just go to pbalerts.com and click products, sign up for the premium. You'll get all that and more. You can also just join the Discord and get the free alerts there. I'm going to drop the link below. If someone, you can feel free to jump in there at any moment. Tons of free stuff. Get the free watch list. Take advantage of all the free stuff, and then make your decision. But absolutely, every plus one like adds a year to my marriage. Please, I need her. She makes me a better person, a better man, and thus a better trader. I will say, since I had kids, there is something weird about that, where when you have kids, and obviously your risk profile changes, it's made me exponentially better. I mean, you guys have, I hope have seen it. Not to toot my own horn. Fewer trades. I know not everybody's pleased about that. However, the quality, I would argue, is 10 to 15 times better. And the risk is reduced by about 70%. It's kind of unbelievable to think I was trading the way I was even 2 years ago when I look at how I'm trading now and I look at the profits now. So I posted my yearly in there. Again, transparency is everything. I don't expect you guys to trust anything or do anything without seeing it here first and seeing it from my stuff. I posted that 1 year P&L in the profits channel and in the events channel. 73% on the year. Go ahead and drop it again for you. Just so you can, I want you to trust in what I'm saying, because I'm screen sharing Webull, so I can't just switch. But go ahead and click that link. You can see it right there. I want you guys to trust in what we're doing and know that what we say is what we do. That portfolio, that's my options trading portfolio. I took that down to like, I think between 40 and 50 grand. I don't remember exactly. And then right before the year started, it dipped and just tanked. I lost a bunch of money. I didn't lose it. It was just the trades went down. And then it came back. And then mid-January, we really hit our swing and started trading more efficiently, more effectively, and a little more intelligently. And it really paid off. I'm up 28,000 this year, so 73% in the year. My goal is to be up 100% by the end of the year. I know that's a bit extreme and a bit excessive, but I want to get this back up. At its peak, it was at about 260 grand. Obviously, I took a bunch out because of Sava. I took a bunch out because of NVDA. All those big COVID runners, I took a bunch out. Got it down to like 100. It went back up to 140. I took another 40, 50 out. We bought the house. And then I probably lost about, as I told you before on that Zoom trade, that was like 40 grand. So that took me like where I'm at now. And then I think I took another 20 or so out, right? And then started at 40 something. And we're back at mid 60s. So it's possible to start with 5 grand and turn it into 10 in a few weeks. I mean, you have to take a little more risk. I'm not going to pretend it's not easy, but passive options that's your key to success. Just selling premium, sitting back and collecting a check is the smartest thing you could do. Again, not to shameless plug Lifetime, but if you're not in Lifetime, getting the absolute god tier passive incomes quality, the options education that Bull is doing, you're missing out on the treat of a lifetime. I watch them, and I've actually learned a hell of a lot more about option spreads than I thought I ever knew. So if you're not in there, I would definitely check that out. I mean, just the ability to join the crypto fund, get that, and the master classes pays for itself. Each of those go for $2,500. Lifetime's like, I think it's like 4 grand paid out over time. You get 6 master classes. You get like 12 grand in value plus the fund. Plus, you get what Bull's doing right now, which is unfathomable. I love that guy. We are going to take a quick look at one of my dear friends, Teslonius Jackson, because it is too interesting not to. So we are in this right now. We took those 230 calls for June 30th. We have still about a month of expiration. I've taken profit on 2 out of I think I took 2 or 3. I don't think I took 4. I think I took 3. So I'm down to the last one, and I'm letting it ride a little bit. I did add a short hedge as we were starting to look like we were going to stop at 209. Got blown out on that short, closed it out, and we continued to rip to about 213. Here's what we have to look forward to here on Tesla. This is going to be a very, very interesting week, guys. We closed just below where I would have liked. Here's where I wanted to close. It was just about scoot it up. Oh, this is so annoying how it does this, guys. I'm so sorry. We closed just below 214. I wanted to close above 214. We didn't, but that's okay because this weekly chart looks pretty quality right now. You have the three white soldiers right here, right? So the three white soldiers that are basically strong, full-bodied candle, minimal wick, climbing one after another. Ideally, so we've got the first one here. Ideally, where this one ends is where the next one begins. So the close, open, then close, open, where it's basically just creating stair-step looking deal up and up and up. And we've climbed through that zone with a lot of strength. So here's where we are now. So if we look back in time, the last time we motored from this area, July 21, is when we tested and found new all-time highs. Previous to that, December of 2020, again, a different market. So don't take it, don't put too much weight into this, right? This thing absolutely ripped, having one of the best weeks it ever had, going from about 230 to almost $300. This thing has shown us 186 to 240, that it can move from 180 to 240 in a week. Now, I do think that's slowing down. Again, remember, they forward split more shares, and I do think it's going to slow down. Tesla's now also priced to sell. Keep that in mind, that their market share is just going to continue to grow, but with the perception that they're a luxury brand, which I would argue they are. It's a very nice car. And also to consider that they have their hands in a lot of pots, and they are, in my opinion, most valuable as a software company rather than, in my opinion, like a hardware company, cars, right, than an auto manufacturer. Because I do believe their technology, if scaled appropriately and sold in the right way, can be factored into every single electric vehicle sale of all other consumer brands, if that's an option, right? I'm not in the car business. I don't know that business extremely well. I just know business in general, and it makes the most sense to just integrate what's already the best into your cars, because Ford has brand loyalty, GMC brand loyalty, all the other brands have brand loyalty. But as that shift happens towards electric, I think of the best technology and the brand that people love will win in the end. So what we want to see here is we got to see this open strong above this 214 level right here. So let's go back to the daily. We have to see this thing open strong above 214. And then what we want to see is it a nice little support test. And then we want to see it go, because we closed above the 200-day EMA. All these other EMAs are crossing up. Now that's the next key factor, right? We want to see all these EMAs cross up, and in by mid-June, late June, we want to see all these EMAs riding above that 200-day. Has to happen. Once we consolidate a little bit here, which is what I'm hoping will happen, right? So this is consolidated before. It's pushed up to 232. That's our next range. So we're going to get rid of these bottom guys, because we absolutely scalped this bottom. I'm so impressed with that buy. This is our next range, right? 214 to 230, right? Hence why we bought the $230 call. That's our max upside, right? Now, we bought early enough that it made sense, in my opinion. We bought just above that breakout. So nevertheless, 230 is our price target. Once we get there, we will sit back, we'll reassess, we'll reevaluate, obviously take our profit, enjoy some of that, and then roll it into our next trade. But our next opportunity is about 250, but we have to see what happens here in the next week or two. What I do like, volume profile growing, glowing, and spectacular, right? Volume is to the upside. We've seen more significant volume from January till now than we have since COVID era trading, right? Which is phenomenal to have that kind of liquidity. RSI, we want to see this tick just above 77, 78. I think this is our max upside, RSI to 99, 95. That's when we found our most recent high, or our all-time high, excuse me. From here, though, I think we still have a ton of upside. Again, I'm long equities from like 110, 115, I think was my average. And then we added this options trade here. And then we're going to look at some leaps once we get above that 230 price point. Extraordinary chart, extraordinary trade. Made a lot of money here. Congrats if you took it. Drop it in the chat. Who took this Tesla trade? I want to see it. Frank, Tesla was a banger. You damn right about that. Who all took that? What's up, John Jacobs? How you living, man? Who took that Tesla trade? Let's hear it. Let's see it. Type it in the chat. Just type a yes or a no. If you took the trade, type yes. If you didn't, say no. Yes, no, yes, no. Who took it? Who didn't? Who took it? Who didn't? I want to hear from you. You don't work for me. I work for you. I definitely just had too much caffeine. But who's to say? Who took that Tesla trade? Come on, there's like 50 people here, and only 2 of you said an answer. There should be like 40 other no's. The Tesla options trade. Posted in the Discord. If you took it, type yes. If you didn't, type no. You've got to be kidding me. You guys missed it. This guy was in an airport in Qatar. Or is it Quito? I don't know how to pronounce. If I'm pronouncing it, no, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I think it's Qatar, right? Unbelievable. Guy was across the globe taking those penny boys trades, baby. I love that. Mike P, Mr. McJP. Thank you for helping us out, my friend. Yeah, that Tesla trade. That's okay. Okay, JP Morgan, who took it? Anybody else see the JP Morgan also 100%er? We had two in the same night. That was a treat. I'm not going to lie to you. That really brought the zest back for me. I was on a meeting with Pookie and Mr. Nafili, and I just saw those charts, and I just said, Daddy's got to eat. And I posted those. I'm so glad they paid out as well as they did. Who took those? Who took the JP Morgan? Anybody? Yes or no? Just type yes if you took it, no if you didn't. Who took that JP Morgan trade? That is a pretty weak daily gap up. Okay, so JP Morgan, anybody catch that one? Yes or no? That was a 100% runner. That was the same, posted around the same time as Tesla. We also had that CHPT lotto that weirdly before earnings ran like 40% and then earnings went to zero. So fortunate. Definitely held that for the absolute earnings banger that I thought it would be, and it was not, and it's worth almost nothing. So the lesson here, friends, take profits. When you have 40% profit, even if it's on a lotto and it happened before you even expected it to move, just sell it. Just take that profit and move on. And Mr. Devastator, it's okay, my friend, because you're here for a lifetime now. So for those of you that have been with us, I mean, you've seen these trades now for 4 years, just boom, 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 still happening. So you don't ever miss. Okay, this is what we're going to have to do. There's never anything to miss. I want to be very clear about that. That's a common misconception with trading in general, where people feel that they missed something. As long as you have access, you miss nothing. So if you leave and you stop trading, then yeah, you're going to miss out on a lot. But if you're trading with us, especially if you're in premium and you're getting these alerts that we're posting every single day, the watch list posting every single day, you can't miss a thing. Not because it's always available, everything's always perfect. No. A lot of great stuff. The point is that if you're in the markets, you can never let yourself slip into that belief that you missed something, because that will rob you of all of your capital, all of your gains, all of your profit. It will be gone. And it's also not true. So based on a delusion, you will be giving away all of your money. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. There's never anything to miss. If you miss the trades from this week, cool. Trade next week. The reason we moved pretty heavily into options is because it afforded those same small cap gains with a much more calculated and effective and efficient way to manage risk. That's why. Because we can trade both ways. We can manage risk very effectively. There's always going to be volatility. There's always going to be another trade. You will never, ever, ever miss a trade. You need to burn that into your mind. Anytime you think you missed a trade, you're wrong. So anytime you think that to yourself, you need to tell yourself you're wrong. Because tomorrow, there'll be another trade that runs 50%. There'll be another trade that runs 20%. Another trade that runs 10%, right? And maybe if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it'll be the day after. It's always available because we're trading full time. So keep that in mind. Don't trick yourself into thinking you missed out and it's not worth continuing. Just look, accept, move on. All acceptance is, to me, honestly, most of the time, is just saying it out loud. Like the Tesla trade. If you've said you missed it, shit, I missed it. That really sucks. I love trading Tesla. That was a great trade. They made a lot of money and I missed it. And guess what? That's okay, because we're going to trade it again. And we're going to trade 10 other tickers and 20 other tickers and 30 over the next couple of weeks, months, years. There's always a trade with us. At least I can tell you that. You will always find a trade that will make you some money forever, as long as we exist, as long as I'm alive. So don't ever think you missed out on trades just because you saw them and they ran. And then if you have a losing trade right after, don't start telling yourself the second part of that lie, which is I always pick the losers. No, we're just not managing risk appropriately. It's one of two things. You're not managing risk appropriately, or you're over trading, or I guess you're over allocating on the trades, right? Putting too much money in one trade. That's all it is. That's all it is. Too much money in each trade, too much trading, or you just took one trade that didn't pan out and didn't manage risk effectively. Done and done. Like water. Just needs to wash over you. There you go. There's always another banger. That should be without question. If you've been with us, if you've been following us for at least a week, that should be without question. 2 weeks, I guess, because you saw it last week. Now you see it again. You saw it again this last week, the week before. Now you see it again this week. So let's continue with smash or pass. We're going to do a couple more. Pop that ticker in the chat. I will pull up the chart. We'll do a quick run through, and then we will determine whether or not we smash or pass and whether or not we like the chart for a long position, right? So we're trading for upside only in this case. So taking a quick look at JP Morgan, I want to hear from you. You guys smash or pass? You smashing or passing on this chart? Let's see it in the chat. Just type smash or pass. You guys going to smash or pass? I'll wait. I'll wait. You going to smash or pass? JP Morgan, JPM, chart we have up on the screen. You going to smash or you going to pass? Which one is it? Looking at what we've got on the chart right now, do you guys smash or pass? Smash or pass? No, everybody's like, I'm not answering that. Come on. It's never a wrong answer. There you go. A few are coming in. We got a smash. We got a pass. We got another smash. Ooh, JP Morgan's getting some swipes. The doctor says pass. Come on. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to see what you're learning. I want to make sure you're paying attention. Pass because it's a bank, but chart looks good. This is how we learn, people. Put ourselves out there. As I've said before, true intimacy is getting to know yourself through others. The only way to do that is to communicate. Oh, we got another pass. Denise, Cool Z, pass. Row, smash. Daniel, Tehran's is pass. Smash or pass. I think we have a higher smash to pass ratio, wouldn't you say? Let's count them. Let's count them. So smash, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no. Wow. It's a pass, according to you guys. So I did not hear the Epstein news. If someone could fill me in the chat what happened, I'd like to know. But as far as this chart goes, the entry was when we got it. It was on that curl up support bounce where we took that options trade, and we are looking to max upside. I think realistically is going to be about 142. If we can break above 142, remember we got this whole other range up here, right? So we want to keep this simple. There's potential. The reason I liked it where we took it, right? That was support. So that 138, that's where price turned over in the past. If you look here, support bounce, boom, support bounce, boom, support bounce, boom, and then upside to 165. It tried on support here, failed. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Hopefully this turns over to support, right? And that we can see the same kind of upside we see here up to maybe 146, which means those contracts would be up about 250%. The options trade that we're currently in. The crazy thing to me was this earnings buying we saw. 43 million on the day. That's insanity. If we look at the week, it wasn't that crazy, but this weekly chart is very strong. If you look at that, buyers came in off long-term support here, at least dating back to 2020. And even if you go a little further, we're trading below past long-term support, which is going to be a pretty heavy resistance above, but we have a decent support there, I would argue. So we want to see this continue above 138, 139. If we do, I think we realistically have room to, like I said, between 147, 149, which coincides perfectly with this resistance here. That's going to be the critical test. If we can't break above that, I'm going to say this is going to be done and done. We're going to look at some puts, probably 140 puts. We'll make a lot of money. We'll have a good time. Everybody will be happy. So I do like the consolidation here. Everything about this chart I like. That's why I put that trade out there. And it paid handsomely. So what other tickers you guys got that you want to see? Let's take a look. Let me go through the chat. Type the stock symbol in the chat, and I will go through the chart. We'll play a game or smash or pass. To CAC, did you sell that CHPT when it ran, or did you hold it after earnings? JFIN. Let's take a look at that. Oh yeah, I like this right here, Daniel. Whoa, did this really happen? You guys remember trading this one before? We were trading this one from like $2. It ran to 14. That was an unbelievable trade. This was a 500%er. This was Lee's play, I believe. This was a very fun COVID trade that I remember we took like around 2 through 250 maybe. No, it ran to 30. That's what it was. Oh my God. This one was absolutely wild. So basically, strong supply zone above 886. So if it goes above 886, just assume that it's probably done for a while. Buyers came in strong. I already had some fibs nonsense mapped out here. I'm sure it seems to be coinciding with perfectly, but that's too many lines. It's too much nonsense. But realistically, this thing's got to stay above 7. What is that? 6. Wait, what happened here? I think this thing's got to stay above 682 for continuation. This could easily go into price discovery mode. That's the thing. I do think it's overbought. RSI volume is still pretty thin, and the RSI is incredibly overbought. So I think this thing needs to cool off a little bit. On the monthly, it's still got some room to go to like $9. But remember, the liquidity zone here is absolutely crazy above $8. If you look at what's happened every time it's gone above $8, it's just gotten shredded back down to nothingness. So to me, this is going to be a pass until we can break above and consolidate above, what is that, above 9 or so, at which point then this would be a very, very, very interesting opportunity where if this goes into price discovery mode, you can find a new high. This thing could be up, a couple 100%. So it's going to be a pass for now. Now, safe. Pass for now, save for later. I think this is worth putting on the watch list and marking those price levels out. I'd put something right there at about 915 or so, because you really have to see a significant breakout with volume above that point. I would like to see volume right around 50 million for the week to tell me that this is really going to see a move up. Yeah, sorry, I saw you ask that one earlier, so I'm going to bump you to the front of the line. We talked about this one in the chat. I don't know if I don't know what your Discord username, my friend, Mr. Cools, but we were talking about this one in the chat. This one, there's some real opportunity here. I don't like this recent sell-off on the weekly. The daily is really trying to make an effort above 73. I think if this thing can turn over 73 or pretty much right above where it is now, it's called 73 though, to trade it safe and be smart, because sometimes middlemans like to play around. So let's say this trades right above 73. You can see a pretty clear distinction between bottom channel, top channel, right? So it's got its ranges already mapped out, right? So upside to $100 if it can close and hold above 73. That's kind of like your max upside for now. Strong support bounce off this area in the past before it absolutely just boomed. This one we also traded equities for. We made a couple 100% on this trade. This thing boomed to about $200 from where we are right now, which means volume picking up, because it is getting stronger. It is not thinning out as we trade into this range again. Basically since March of 22, volume has been substantially higher than it had been in the past. So I do like that. But looking at as far as forward looking is going, I'd say that you got pretty two clear options, right? You're either trading below 73 or above 73. Above 73, you have tons of room for upside. I would say next resistance just below 100. Let's go ahead and mark that range. If you have your chart up, I really would just follow along, copy these lines I'm putting in here so you have all this at your disposal for the future. So if we can break above 73 and hold, so remember, anytime we see a breakout, here's what we want to actually see. We want to see the price go up, and we want to see it test support and then go up, right? So if it breaks above here, we're not saying, oh, it's going. No, we're waiting for it to come down and retest as support to basically give us the nod, the confirmation that, yes, I'm good to go. I like it up here. I'm going to stay up here, and then I'm going to go. That is when you want to load up. I don't want to buy the breakout. I want to buy the confirmation. Where's Pookie? Oh, I know he'll love that. I feel like that's a Pookie select if he's still here. Don't buy the breakout, buy the confirmation. So as it breaks out and then it confirms, that's your opportunity to look at this. I would say we're going to look at the $100 calls. Let's take a quick glance through the options chain just so we're prepared and ready, because this one is going to be a conditional smash for me. The answer is smash, but if. Oh, good. They've got a pretty decent options chain. And let's try to map out what kind of moves we could expect. So this is July, October. So 3 months, this thing went $30. Clearly went more than $30, less than 3 months. Same thing here, 3 months. Likes to move basically $30 in 3 or 4 months. So what we would do is to trade this the right way, we'd be looking at August 18th. That's 75 days. It's a little shorter than 3 months, but it's close enough. And then we would look at, oh my God, we might have found a phenomenal lotto here, my friends. The options chain on this one doesn't even go higher than $100, at least for these August 18th. So let's look at September 15th. Oh yeah, it does for September. Delta's a lot better though, and price is a little bit more, but so that's what, $30 from the strike. Let's look to downside. $30 on puts from the strike. Oh yeah. Ooh, we found something interesting. I know it's interesting because I stopped talking. This is interesting. We really need this chart to go above like 75. Yeah. All right. So those of you in the Discord, you're going to get this one. We're going to go through this one. For those of you in the Discord, keep an eye out. I'm going to be posting probably, and I call it option. I would say it'll be an option swings, not leaps, because we're not quite doing leaps, but it'll be posting the option swings channel. I think I found us some sexy value here to make a good bit of cash money. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. Maybe choose my birthday as the expiration. That delta isn't crazy good though. Ooh, yeah, I think I found it. Okay. We're going to make some money, ladies and gentlemen, and otherwise we're going to make some money. So keep an eye on that options alerts channel. I'm going to be posting it in there. I think we found a golden opportunity. If you're not in there, links at the bottom, get in there. This one trade alone will make you, I think, a good bit of money if you're interested. I think we just found an absolute banger. One that feels as good as Palantir did to me, just being totally transparent with you. So that Palantir trade was up 300% in just a few weeks. This one feels about as good. But we're going to quickly go over to make sure there wasn't any analyst downgrades or anything. Their expected earnings per share this year is like expected 300%. Wow, their forward P is only 12.95. Why did Goldman They downgraded them to 93 though. So in March of this year, they upgraded my Morgan Stanley to 113 price target. Guys, we just found some. So I'm going to post the exact options trade in the Discord. I'll post it probably in the options swing channel. You guys are going to get a taste of this. This is going to be good stuff. I think this trade, as long as we can break up, like I said, breakout support test, I think we're going to make a good bit of sexy money here. So we're going to make some sexy money together, I think, on this one. I really like this opportunity. This feels about as good as Palantir. I'm not going to lie to you. Feels quite tasty. A few things need to line up first, but I'm going to post that in there because I think we do have some opportunity here. So bada bing, bada boom. Good find, Mr. Cool Z. That's my guy. Here we go. SC. Why is my mouse being so weird? Charles Schwab. Wow, Schwab, who is texting me? What is this madness? Give me just a moment. Oh, it's my wife. Let me make sure it's not something with the children's. Oh, it's a group text with my family. So never mind. That PDD. That's going to be, I knew something drew me to that chart when I was talking about it the other day. And then Mr. Cool's there. Cheers, my friend. Are you in the Discord, Mr. Cools? Are you in the premiums? Are you in the premiums? I got to make sure because this is got to give you a little credit on this trade because I think it's going to be a banger. We got a little bit more time here. You guys got any other charts? Any other charts you want to see at all? Type the ticker in the chat. We will go over the chart and talk about whether we're going to smash or pass in the short term. Schwab looks pretty tough here. Let's go ahead and find our sexy bottom here. So I think 46 is hopefully as low as this will go if you're looking for upside here. I think you've also got some girth formulating here, but it broke through. Like that would have been ideal trend support, but it's not there. So we have to go back further in time to find out where the buyers are holding on, and those are the buyers holding on. So you can pretty much map out a pattern from when people started buying to see if there's like a strong institutional presence, something like there will be with Schwab. You can map that out and find out, okay, people are buying 2016. That'll be pretty much the same investor. It's active now. Really likes it off this trend line, right? So that's in line with their models for buying, and clearly somebody loved it. Unbelievable volume, 500 million shares traded over the week of March as this came down to $43. I do think this might be a hell of a buy down here. But I also think that they're probably going to see a little more downside before the upside comes. That is very, very interesting. These corporations that have really cornered certain markets, like Schwab and Fidelity, for example, it's kind of crazy that there's almost no cap to the upside you're going to see with them because they've eaten up. So it's monopolized. It's monopolization, and that's what's happened. And it is what it is. But it's very hard to compete. Costco. So Schwab's going to be a pass for now. I think it's got some self-reflection to do, some growing to do. Oh my God, it finally broke out. So you guys know I've been looking at this chart for quite a while now and talking about this being the best pennant I've ever seen on a long-term chart in a stock like Costco. I'm pissed that I missed it because the buy was right here on this little bear fake out, 480, right? Which I missed. I hope some of you got it. I've had this mapped out for weeks, so I hope some of you got to take advantage of this when I didn't. That's going to be a definite smash for me. I think that's still got 10% upside before we even start talking about moving in together, but I do think it's 10% upside easy from here. Those options contracts are probably insanely priced. Let's take a quick look. If you were trading something like 30 days out, July 7. Oh, they're not crazy. 550s for $1.50. Wow, the implied volatility is 17%. There might be a little arbitrage there if it's that low. Wow. That's a bull put spread I do like. Ooh. I think I'm going to have a bull put play that we're going to pop there in premium as well for those of you that are in. Do we really have room to 550? I mean, this is June. When is this? Let me take a look. June 30. That 550 is definitely undervalued, but it's not going to move at all. We can get that at 92 cents maybe. Let me go back here and look at this. Oh, this 550 call is interesting. But it would have to move so quickly, which it can. It's shown 1, 2, 3 weeks. That would put us too close to expiration, though. This is a tough call. There could be some money to be made here, but I think it might put us too close to expiration. So that's another one I think I'm going to. I think that's one I like. There's a bull put spread I like here that I was working on building last week, but I just kind of forgot about it. But I'm going to post that in there. It's my one strategy has like a 90% win rate, so we're going to at least make 20-30% on that bull put spread, short of an absolute like market catastrophe. So keep a very good, close, trained eye on that option swings channel, because that's where I'm going to be posting those. And I'm definitely going to put this in front of bull, Mr. Put Spread in general. All right, let's take a quick look at NVIDIA for Mr. Blendy here. I almost typed Blendy. Unbelievable. So here's my one theory, though, with NVIDIA to be mindful of. So this is a pretty significant, pretty girthy resistance, right? So we tried and found some support here for a short period of time, then turned over as resistance, closed above it with strength, right? And a lot of sellers came in here to take profit at $400, and for some reason they were unable to close on the week below, call it 380. That leads me to believe that this might not be completely and totally done. If you look at the daily, it doesn't look as good, but again, higher high, higher low, at least day over day, right? Now this bullish candle closed inside, but the bears didn't carry much strength here. And this RSI looks like it's just tinkering up there. It went as high as 84, which is crazy. And that little hanging guy there is never any good. But why does it do that? I hate when it alters the chart when you go to the monthly. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Because it should be off of this resistance. Yeah, so if we look at the monthly, there's support there. Now, this candle wicked off, right? So this wicked off, price came all the way back down to what, 393. But you got to also remember that this thing is now in price discovery mode, meaning it has found a new high and it has no idea what its true value is. And with the like kind of meme, I guess, social media attention that it's gotten, there's still upside to be had here. There really is. There, I think, is still upside. Now, is there a quality trade I could throw together for this? No. You missed the opportunity. We already got in when it was trading down here. What was it? I don't know. We did back in like August, September or something. It was like at 150. So that trade opportunity is gone. I don't like any short-term weeklies. You're just more than likely going to get hammered on those. But if you're still holding this, I do think there is still potential for upside. Hedge your positions below 377. This thing's going to probably come down to, I would say, 330, and then hold here and find support there off of this past support from the first run up. So NVIDIA is a pass if you're not already in it. It's a smash, 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 smash if you're already holding the position that we took last year. GameStop, very interesting. My buddy who just started trading was telling me about this because I yelled at him because he was like buying. He was trading like GameStop and like Bed Bath & Beyond, all this crazy stuff. Somehow it surprisingly made money on pretty much all of them. If you guys remember, this was the entry we marked here. This has been on my chart for months now. This was the entry. What was it, 1650? And then this thing boomed up almost 100%. I'm still holding a small portion of that equity for long-term continuation to see if we can break above 27, because then we have 34 on the horizon. That'll be easy money. We crossed over that 200-day EMA, which is a very favorable sign. Volume's ticking up a little bit here, but it is still no way comparable to 2022, which is the volume you need to see these swings from 21 to 37. Like if you want to double your money, double your fun, volume needs to be roughly 10 times what it is now. Until it is, I don't think this thing's going to move much more than, the couple points that it's moving per day. I just don't think it's going to be crazy. But, hey, man, that Chewy guy, whatever his name is, he really did. He did really. This is a good question. I wish. I mostly just make my notes on the actual chart, and I just hope to God that I go back and look at that chart so I don't miss it. Sometimes I will write a set of tickers down. I mean, I kind of just try to keep the same ones in my recently viewed. One of these days, I'm gonna have Pookie help me set up some like actual watch list stuff, which I think will make me way more efficient. But I'll write them down in a little notepad on my desk. Certain tickers that I absolutely can't miss. Tesla was one of them. JP Morgan was one of them. Like the ones I cannot miss. And then I just set price alerts within my brokerage so that I get that information. All right, we're going to knock out a couple more. Anything for you, Mr. Devastator? Now that you're in the Cool Kids Club, man. What is this? ARQQ Quantum? This is not a Kathy Wood deal, right? The AR is throwing me off. This is not a Kathy Wood, right? It's a different company. It just ticker looks somewhat similar to the Kathy Wood ones. There might be some potential here. Friend. Oh, okay. So this could be a bubble. So it did pop and then it sold off. Volume faded completely. Be very careful with this one. These are like those little trendy boys that trade well for 5 minutes. And then you see these little hanging star guys like this with a new high where sellers took control. And then it'll push up just a little bit. And then it always does this where it'll close and bang its head against support. So if it holds above 125, this might actually be a quality low risk entry. Lose 10 cents to make 20. Huh. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'd be willing to risk 10 cents to make 20 and with potentially more because you got a huge gap here. So again, volume's picked up a little bit, but not enough. If it does fill this gap to $2, made a nice chunk of change. Oh, it's a value stock in your eyes. Yeah, I don't know enough about them. I guess it's a real deal. Then it's a real deal. This might be one that's worth throwing a few $100 at. There is a quality risk reward here that I do enjoy right now. If it goes below 115, then it's going to keep going down. So you could like risk 10 to 12 cents on the chance to, I think realistically, test that high right here, 155, make 30 cents. So it's 3 to 1. I might be popping a little trade idea on this too. Good find, my friend. I do think this one's interesting. Interesting. All right, last one of the night for TikTok. This thing has absolutely ripped. Look at that. Everyone, like, let's stop and give a moment of cheers and appreciation to Mr. Profit, Mr. Stock Like Profits, because I'm not gonna lie, he was talking about this like $90. He was like saying this is crazy. This is undervalued. This should never be trading at $90. This is nonsense. Even push to throw it in our rest and retire, which if you don't have that, you absolutely need that because he and I have been putting those picks together. I got to give him a lot of the credit. That portfolio is up. I don't even know, dude. Like, it's unbelievable how much those picks are up. Unbelievable. These are long-term growth plays, like long-term growth opportunities. Like buy and hold, set it and forget it. You trade short-term, you take your profits, you roll it into the long-term value stuff. And Lee's leading the charge on a lot of that. And he's Mr. Fundamentals. He's very, very good at this. I mean, he nailed this one from like $90. It's gone up. It's in a year. It's basically gone up 100 and something percent, 200%. Unbelievable. That was one of the best trades I've seen. I was like, she just sniped that one. For me, it's a pass right now. I do think we're going to inevitably hit 290 and close this gap, but there's just the risk reward at this point is crazy. If you're not already in, there's not much here, and it's too scary to go puts because this thing's been on an absolute tear. So in my opinion, it's just not. There are way better options to trade right now than this one. In my opinion. MC, mark that down. I guess Lee had a stream 116 when he was talking about it. Could you make a note of that? Because I would like to find a clip from that and post it in here when we cut this up and edit it. That would be awesome. All right, I lied. Last one of the night from Mr. Rowe here. Dude, this mouse is really pissing me off. I have not looked at DocuSign. Ooh. Pass until it's over 62, but this is one with incredible opportunity, maybe 67. I think this one is very interesting because, again, 314, this thing absolutely ripped last year. We made some crazy options trades. I think it's found true value in coming down to $40. I think this is like anywhere between 75 and $80. I think is like fair. And even then I would argue that it's like a little inflated at that point. I mean, the forward PE at current price, I think, is around 20, I would say. And price targets on it between 50 and $60. So like I would say fair value between 50 and $60. I wouldn't really push much past that. And it's already there. So, I mean, breakout over 65 and then you have something because, again, this thing's gapped down. It's got room to go to like 85, 86. It's going to be a phenomenal options trade, even $90 if it breaks out above there. And again, the weekly chart here is the most, it sells the best, right? Because you got that firm resistance boy right there at 65, and then you got nothing but upside to about $100. So there's definitely upside here. It's just higher risk. Volume is coming in. RSI is actually pretty oh my God. Actually, never mind. This thing might actually be primed. Look at that consolidation. Look at that buying, and look at that RSI. Like, it is not overbought, which means this thing could absolutely have room to run. So this is definitely a watch lister. I would throw it on there. We need to get above. And remember, yes, you can buy too early. We need to get above here. We need to be above $65. That's been pretty significant resistance and support. So that's a pivot point, right? That's a point on the chart where it either goes above and rips or it bumps its head and dumps. It's one or the other. Or it just trades right along that line and burns your options contracts into nothingness. So yes, you can buy too early. I know people love like getting the earliest opportunity. Not worth it for the risk you're going to take for in exchange for that. But this is definitely one. I'm going to these few. See, I'm using the notepad right now. What was the other one I said? I said ARQQ, DOCU, and then, we're doing the PDD trade. I'm going to put that in the Discord for you guys. We got a couple of good trades coming up out of this. There we go. 3. I wanted 3, and we've got 3, I think. So make sure to check those in the options and the equities channels in the Discord. I think we got a lot of opportunity here. I'm going to put in some of those alerts. You guys are going to see those. We're going to hopefully make some money together. Always manage your risk. Always set your stops. And stay blessed. I love you now.